Hello guys, and welcome back to another Cafcast! Today we are back here in the wonderful world of TerraTech on the Wing It Challenge to show you guys how to make a fantastic, awesome, brilliant, wonderful quadcopter. They are awesome fun to fly. I've perfected it, I think, now, and hopefully you guys would agree. If you like the comments, if you like the build, then please do let me know by giving the video a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to the Cafcast for more of these videos. And also stay tuned to the end, guys, because I can talk. I'm going to show you how you can get involved with the Cafcast directly, because we're going to be starting to do a showcase for your builds, which is pretty awesome and pretty exciting, so please do stay tuned for that. But without further ado, there are two different types of quadcopters that you can build in this game. There's one that has turbines, these guys here, and there's one that has propellers. We're going to do the turbine ones first, because the turbine one is nice and easy to do. And actually it flies really, really well. So as you can see, a quadcopter, to qualify as a quadcopter, I think it needs to have 4 of these bad boys on all the corners. And I'll show you how well this actually works in a little while. But first, we need to show you just quickly what happens when you just try and fly it like this. Because there's no rudders, and I can put these on there as well if you want to. The wheel is overloaded, but it does still move. Look, this is just the cabin's little wheels hanging out underneath there going nee, 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 nee. It's so funny. When we fly, as you can see, it flies and just takes off, and it's fine. But we have no kind of manipulative control over the way that this currently works. It's essentially just a VTOL, but without any kind of control whatsoever. So that's not good enough for us, is it? What you might think that we could do is put, like, essentially like 1,000,000 billion wings on it, like here, 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 and finally here. And you might say to yourself, well, that should fly, Caf, shouldn't it? And you should be able to control that, shouldn't you? Now you can see that I'm moving the propellers and things, but it doesn't quite work. There is a very, very difficult way of getting this actually flying and moving, but it's really difficult. I will demonstrate to you guys. What you need to do is take your quadcopter all the way across to the back of the level here, so you're facing slightly forwards, and then take off while you're facing slightly forwards, and that starts to give you control, as you can see. So we now have a quadcopter that actually does work. And it's amazing that in fact it is possible to fly with just this. We can take off these bad boys here if we want to, so we just have the control left and right and up and down. But the problem is, as soon as you start to lose that speed, the whole thing just absolutely gives up, because you have no forward momentum. And in order for these rudders to work, in order for these flaps to work, what you need to have is forward momentum. So essentially, there's a couple of different ways of doing this, and it's up to you what you decide to do. Personally, what I like to do is just have ever so slightly, just a couple of little thrusters just kind of pointing downwards and forwards, so that when we take off and start moving, we just get a little push, a little bit of a push. It looks like I need to put those rudders back on, because they don't seem to be, it doesn't seem to be as controllable right now. So let's quickly pop those back on again. There we go. It can still move with the thingies, because we have the boosters, as you can see. The boosters now push you along. But if we hold down Shift, we'll start taking off, we'll have control, and every time we push forwards, as you can see, those little boosters actually sort us out, and we can carry on going. If we hold down back so the vehicle comes to almost a complete stop, it's going to be difficult, but you can right yourself if you're good, if you're quick. But you need to remember that your boost is on your plus, your W control. Otherwise, you can do things like that and kind of like land and crash. The more important way of making sure that you do survive in situations like that is to give yourself something like a big old tank of fuel. There is different ways of doing that. Like this one, for example, is pretty good, which you could have like one there, and then you could have one on that side, and then as we use these, that will eventually deplete. At least I think that works with these. It might not be. It might actually be the other ones. Yep, there it is. It is starting to sort of slowly decrease now. So this vehicle, once again, you can just take off, nice and straightforward. You actually need to hold down. Sorry for not telling people. You actually need to hold down the W key to be able to make sure that you do take off in time. But it looks like, unfortunately, these are not going to be able to sit there because that makes it so it's unable to fly. And putting them at the back there makes it even worse. So that's going to be really difficult, isn't it? What you can do, if you wanted to, is move these like this and have them at the front ever so slightly. But because they're off kilter, it's going to be very difficult to fly with them anyway. So I would probably recommend not worrying about it. I mean, at least I've been able to fly for a long, long time without having to worry about having those installed at all. Oops, there's one just there still that I completely forgot about. Oh dear, oh dear. So, but the cool thing about this setup is if there is things in front of you, you can just hold shift a little bit before you go, and then you'll kind of like get moving, and you can do a barrel roll to turn around and stuff. It works reasonably well. Essentially, there is a much better way, though, of being able to make sure that you can survive. We can take off things like this to take less weight onto the vehicle, but I find that actually the best thing to do is to use a propeller. For the build that we're on now, a propeller is the best way of getting up and getting moving, purely because as soon as the vehicle actually takes off, as you can see, I haven't actually spaced this out properly now, we're going to have to change the wings probably actually to be like 2 at the back instead. Probably like this. But as you can see, as soon as you take off, the really cool thing about a setup like this is that what it does is it starts to support you automatically. So the propeller doesn't go straight away, but if you just hold down shift and don't worry about W and S, what happens, I'll show you again, is the propeller won't start until you actually leave the ground, and it makes it a lot easier to actually control. Now, in this setup we're running right now, you actually have to go backwards on yourself and then start flying. There are obviously different things that you can do to change the center of thrust, the center of mass. I haven't, to be honest with you, kind of actually worked out the exact kind of science behind it. I know that there are different things that we can do to make this a little bit more flyable, and we can try these different things as we go, literally now. As you can see, this does fly. This does fly well enough. But I think what it probably actually needs is for the front wings to be a bit further forward, which we can actually do. Like we can do it, put them here, like this, hanging off of the front of the plane there, which means that actually there's then nothing stopping the propeller from being ahead of everything else. So as you can see now, it just takes off really nicely and actually gives you a good amount of speed and support. You can fly really well. It does kind of, it's hard to go down. The only reason of that is because it's a quadcopter, as I'm sure you guys can appreciate. It's a quadcopter, so it's gonna find it difficult to decelerate. The best way of going downwards is actually just to stop accelerating. Going upwards, it's fine, but if you want to recycle it and turn it upright and stuff, just stop accelerating for a minute and then just start again, and away you go. And as you can see, actually, because we have the propeller there and we have the rudder on the back here, this is actually a completely perfectly weighted machine. I'll come down really low here. Oops, daisy. Oh, I'm going to have to flip back round again now because of the way that the flight mechanics work in TerraTech. But this is essentially a pretty nice little quadcopter. As you can see, it moves well, flies nicely. It's actually holding its position that I've given it perfectly, as you can see. And we can just sort of turn around and fly really nicely. It rewrites itself automatically because it's a quadcopter, because it has these 4 blades. So I can go, or try to go, completely wrong, and it will always rewrite itself because it's designed to. It's a cool little design. So hopefully that really kind of, hopefully you guys think that's pretty cool. That's the first one that I'm thinking about running. But the second one, which is a slightly different design, uses something else, and it uses it on a different axis, as you'll see as we go now. We actually put propellers on the axes like this. Now, the way that this has to actually work is you have to put them in the corners rather than anything else. So we have to just ever so slightly bulk this out As you can see, we don't have to have that one there. If you want, you can have them just set up like this, and actually just have all the propellers set up like this, like this. This actually works, in fact, even not better, but this works pretty much exactly the same. You can have this H design and then have all the propellers bit onto it again like this. Now the same thing's going to happen again if we try and start taking off. All it's going to do is just fly away like a balloon caught in an updraft. But what you can do, as we all know, is change it up so that we have the propellers or the wings in the right places to make sure that they support the whole vehicle, and then we can have a propeller at the front. Now, because we've actually used all the propellers that we can in the game, we can't actually do that. So we have to resort to using the same method we did last time to get a little bit of propulsion and actually just not do that. Do a similar kind of thing like this. So we put a couple of propellers in there, we get moving, we get flying forwards, and then eventually, once it looks like we might need to put some rudders on the tops here. We can do that. We should be able to fix that, no problem at all. Let's quickly grab one of these. It looks like this is actually the last one, so it's going to have to go there, and I'm going to have to pray that this works. Here we go. Look, we'll just be able to fly it up, move it around, do a barrel roll quickly. There we go. Nice. I don't know if we're going to be able to right it. Oh, okay, we're off. There we go. Perfect. We got it. You have to get those barrel rolls in, because otherwise it just does these weird things the whole time. But if you get the controls in the right position, as you can see, it becomes a perfectly functional quadcopter, which is so cool. It's a really nice way of flying. And actually, even though when we lose our momentum, the vehicle will then begin to stall and stuff like that, all it takes, if we just quickly, gently, okay, I'm going to have to right myself here, gently land, just like this, we can increase our height again, flip it over, because that's just the way that this game works right now. Oh, it's not going to let me flip it over. I'm going to crash and break that. No! I don't want this to happen. Okay, it's not breaking. It's okay. It hasn't exploded. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Okay. So we'll just do the same thing we did last time. Just slightly forwards, and then that will give us the ability to flip, turn, and away we go. There we go. Okay, we have to do it again. There we go. Fantastic. You just need to, you have to be very delicate with the controls, because if you move too far on the S upwards, then as you can see, the vehicle just sort of takes over, and it's like, no, I didn't want you to do that. But it does self-right, as you've seen before. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this has explained to you how to do a quadcopter. Please do make sure that you like the video if it helped you out to build something very, very cool. I think it works really, really well. And actually, it moves really fast, 128 top speed. It's incredible. It's a really cool way of flying. I prefer the turbine one. I think it's a slightly more controllable vehicle. But this one is still pretty cool. Do make sure that you leave in the comments your thoughts about doing a showcase. That's what you're waiting for. That's the end of the video today. Let me know in the comments whether or not you would like to see a TerraTech showcase, where we take a look at all the latest tweeted vehicles to see whether or not there are any that we really, really like. But until next time, guys, I've been Caf of the Cafcast. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more TerraTech video content, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. You've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to us if you like what you see. That way I'll know to make more, and that you really like me. So, you've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos.